So I've been covering a lot of material because I'm catching up from being sick all week, and I have so much to say about what's going on in Chicago and Portland with the police brutality, attacks on peaceful protesters, attacks on a preacher who was out preaching and praying, who got shot in the head with rubber bullets. The constitutional violations that we've come to know and love from the Trump administration. But my question is, with Israel and Gaza ceasefire, so the ceasefire is held. They're assuming that the hostages are going to be released tomorrow. So 48 Israeli hostages, 2,000 Palestinian hostages, 1,700 of whom were held without charge. Just body snatched off the street and just held. Here's my question. They knew they were going to sign this ceasefire when the flotilla was approaching. Why go through so much trouble to stop the flotilla, stop the aid, arrest foreign humanitarian workers, and some of whom are still being held, haven't been released yet, if you knew you were going to sign the ceasefire? That seems very suspect to me. Now, Israel has claimed it was just to maintain their control of Gaza, make sure no weapons get smuggled in. Search the flotilla. Search it. Because now they're having to clear rubble to even get aid trucks in. Now, an organization affiliated with the UN has enough aid to sustain Gaza for 3 months, and they're trying to get food and medical supplies into Gaza as quickly as they can. But why go through so much effort and so much propagandizing of stopping the flotilla? Because they lied. Israel lied about why they stopped it. They released propaganda videos about what they were doing to stop the flotilla, and we knew that wasn't happening because those humanitarian workers were live streaming as it happened. Why do that? The only conclusion I can come to is that the cruelty is the point, or using starvation to negotiate maybe certain parameters in the ceasefire that they wanted. I don't trust it at all. And my next question is, Bibi Netanyahu has been accused of war crimes. He's a war criminal in many international courts. Is he still going to face charges if this ceasefire holds? I mean, obviously not here because the U.S. is backing the genocide. The U.S. doesn't care. But in other countries, he's been charged with war crimes. Is he still going to face those criminal charges? And lastly, Israel bought millions of dollars in advertising on YouTube to help try to change U.S. Perception of Israel. And Bibi Netanyahu was here recently meeting with conservative content creators, talking about how do we change the U.S. opinion on Israel. And why go through all that? Why spend all that money if you're going to honor the ceasefire, right? Because ending the war would go a long way to change public opinion. Why go through all that and spend all that money if you're planning to honor the ceasefire? I find that to be extremely suspect because they knew they were going to sign it. They didn't know this last week. They knew before that they would sign it. Why spend millions of dollars for propaganda in the U.S. to change the tide of public opinion if you knew you were going to end the war? Why stop aid if you knew you were going to end the war? What else is going on?